Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. You are listening to And Another Thing. We are Joella and Helen, and this is episode 3. Episode 3.
Oh my God, episode 3.
So exciting.
It is exciting.
It's nice to be back again with all of you, listeners.
All of you, however many
there are.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. So we were just doing a sound check with our microphones to make sure that everything works hunky-dory, because we have to take everything down at the end of recording and then we pop everything back up when we want to push record again. So doing sound check, and every time I get to Helen testing her microphone, I say, "Can you speak into the microphone?" And you go, "Hello, hello." Like, you've got to say more than just your one word. So I go over to my bookshelf where I've got many different books, and one of them is Cat in the Hat by Dr. Seuss. And so I was like, "Here, read a page from Dr. Seuss." And then you say to me, "I don't think I've ever read Dr. Seuss before."
I don't think I have.
So, what? Did you never read Dr. Seuss to your kids?
No, I don't think so.
Is Dr. Seuss a thing in the UK, though? Is he from the UK?
I've no idea. I don't know where he lives.
From America?
I don't know. You'll have to Google that.
Okay.
They've got the book. We have the book.
At home?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they've probably read it, or TJ's probably read it, but I just don't remember reading it to them. We had other books that were their favourites that would come out all the time that we'd read. So I don't recall ever reading it.
Dr. Seuss was definitely... Springfield, Massachusetts. There you go. He's from America. Dr. Seuss was definitely books that I remember growing up with. And then I also remember my sister's kids all of my nieces and my nephews, we had Dr. Seuss books for them. Mm-hmm. And one of the kids did, I think, Cat in the Hat, or one fish, two fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. That's why I'm getting my...
You know what? This is probably why I didn't read it.
Because it's a tongue twister.
Yeah, that would have been a bloody nightmare at bedtime. Honestly, that's probably why.
Yeah. All right, well, that makes sense. So one of the girls actually did one of those books as a memory thing, or like a school talent thing, or I think it was a school talent thing. Anyway, so she can recite the entire book off by heart. Anyway, Dr. Seuss.
No, Paddington were my kids' books.
Oh, Paddington.
Yeah, the whole series of Paddington I got. That's the one I remember the most from my childhood, was Paddington.
My sister loved Paddington Bear.
Oh, I love a bit of Paddington. When you go back home and you just see lots of Paddington stuff, because it became quite a thing with the Queen. I don't remember why. Was it her, one of the big celebrations, for some reason Paddingtons were getting left outside Buckingham Palace, and it became quite a thing. And she actually did a funny little sketch with Paddington eating marmalade sandwiches and having tea.
I think I remember that sketch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Paddingtons are quite a
UK
thing. Quite a UK thing. Yeah. Me and TJ went for a walk the other day, and I said, "That lady's been to England." And he's like, "How do you know?" I said, "They've got a Paddington keychain." "Well, you can get them here." And I was like, "I know, but I think they've been to England."
It's funny how every country has its own unique kids' history book that you would read. So a lot of Canadians would say to me, "Have you read this book?" And I was like, "Nope, didn't grow up in this country."
No.
And for New Zealand, it's Harry McCleary is our staple kids books that you would read. So there's an author called Lynley Dodd in New Zealand, and she's very well known, and she creates the Harry McCleary book. Again, it's a rhyming book, so you probably wouldn't particularly warm to it. But it was Harry McCleary from Donaldson's area. He was a dog, and he had different other dogs as friends.
Harry or Hairy?
Harry.
Like shave Harry?
Yeah.
Okay. Just trying to work out whether it's Harry.
Yeah. No, this is not an accent thing. It's Harry McCleary.
Okay.
And from a Donaldson's dairy. And Hercules Morse, he was as big as a horse. Yeah, and then, so it just keeps on going.
Right.
Yeah. So this actually brings me to something else, because I was thinking the other day about our adventures, that you call them. Mm-hmm. And I was just thinking to myself, I kind of shook my head internally thinking, can't believe we're calling these our little adventures that we go on, whether we go to concerts or whether we go to these different places. And then I thought, it sounds like a 60s book, like The Famous Fives. It's like The Adventures of Helen and Joella. I was like, this is a Famous Five book. And then
Chapter 3.
I actually had to Google it and think to myself, do Canadians know who the Famous Five were?
Oh, yeah, the Famous Five.
Well, Enid Blyton, she's from the UK.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, again, I wonder if culturally what translates, what gets shifted over from different oceans to different continents. And yeah, anyway, I thought of us in the famous
I
five.
actually forgot about Enid Blyton. Yeah, those were good.
They were good books.
Actually, The Wishing Chair, which was one of Enid Blyton's books, was one of, because I wasn't a big reader and still am not a big reader, but I remember reading that book and being like taken away into this magic fairy world when I was a kid. The Wishing Chair. Then I bought the second one. Oh, yeah, let's read that. And then I don't think I ever finished it. But yeah, Enid Blyton was good when you were a kid.
Well, she did her job. She made a non-reader go into the world of imagination, which as a reader, especially for children.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
I used to go and pick books from the library for school. And I just have to pretend I read it. But I just picked the nice, colourful, oh, that looks okay.
The ones that had all the pictures in
there. Try that. Yeah.
You didn't have to read.
And so that's how I picked my library books at school. I was just never interested. It just never... If it doesn't grab me straight away in the first chapter, then it's done. I'll put that one away.
You have said before that you're not a reader, but I think that you're a seasonal reader.
Oh, yeah, you've said that before.
You will read in the summertime, and you'll read a few books.
Yeah.
But when that sun goes away and you can't go outside and sunbathe and read, then the books go away and you don't read anymore.
Because when I'm indoors, I can see things that I can't just sit and read, or I'm just too tired and I'll read a page, fall asleep, and the next night read the same bloody page.
Because you can't remember what's happened.
No, my dad's wife can sit and we'll be watching telly and she can be just reading. I'm like, no, it has to be
completely quiet.
I can't, yeah.
Can you read on an aeroplane?
No. Well, that's
also,
because
you knock yourself out on an aeroplane anyway.
Yep, gravel, bosh, I'm out. No, I think I'd feel sick if I read on an aeroplane.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not that way at all.
No, you're just a reader. You've just got so many books in your brain.
Yeah. So this is, I don't know.
I see a book over there that I'm thinking, I still haven't read that, but there's no point. Might as well stay here. I bought that back from England, didn't I? Miranda Hart.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Joe will finish it before me, but you still will finish it before I never
still
get
will
around to
finish
doing
it.
it.
Yeah.
It looks good in that pile there.
Oh,
I like it.
Thanks. So when I moved to Canada, I wasn't intending to move here. I was just coming for a year or maybe 2 because my visa was a 2-year visa. Mm-hmm. So I was just coming for a year. So I packed all of my stuff up and I put it in storage at my mum's house. She's got a big shipping container in her backyard because she lives out in the country. And so I put it all in there in storage. 6 years later, I'm still here and my stuff's still in storage. But there are times when I go to a bookshop or I'm at home and I just think to myself, oh, I really wish I could read that book. Maybe I should just go buy it. But I think I have it somewhere. So then I'll look in my bookshelf at my house where I currently live. I'll look at my bookshelf and I'll look at it and I'm like, oh, the book's not there. And then I'll realise I've actually got that book in a shipping container in New Zealand and I won't allow myself to go and buy that book because I already own it. But it just happens to be in a container on the other side of the world. And I feel so heartbroken because I just want to read the book.
You should join the library and go and get that book and read it. Then you can take it back. I hear the library is a good thing.
I hear it's a good thing as well, but
it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't go to the library either. Only when the kids were small, it was a great little adventure and sounded like I'd had a drink then, a little adventure.
Oh, or maybe like Elvis. Anyway, we got sidetracked with books. I don't know how we got there, but there you go. We got there.
And now we're going to talk about something exciting.
Oh, yes. So this is big news.
Do-do-do-do.
We've got some results back about the kettle poll. So if you listened...
poll. Was it called kettle poll? Oh, kettle,
It was a kettle poll.
Yeah.
So if you listened to episode 2, thank you very much. Welcome to episode 3. But we were talking about whether North Americans, so I'm clumping America and Canada into that process, whether they have kettles in their house, because you were adamant that people would have a kettle.
Yeah, I'm shocked that they wouldn't have a kettle.
Yeah, because in the UK and in New Zealand, you would go to somebody's house and you would have a kettle because you're going over for a cup of tea. If you don't have a kettle in your house, why are you going over for a cup of tea for?
Jog on. I'll go to the next house.
Go home.
Uh-huh.
So we put it out there and said, hey, folks, let us know. We've got some feedback. It's big feedback.
Big feedback.
It's 100% positive in the fact that I was right. North Americans don't have a kettle in their house. And you were also right. That
100%.
100% right that people from the UK also have a kettle in their house.
Yeah.
Our poll so far is 2 people. So thank you very much to my friend in West Virginia who let me know that in her experience, so far nobody that she goes to has a kettle in her house. And
Honestly,
she, like us, loves her tea and is saddened by the fact that nobody has kettles in her house.
Does. You know what? My neighbour has this kettle that he takes with him on trips, and it's tiny. It folds up. Your friend needs one of these kettles. Just take it to everyone's house with her. It folds up. It's
How
tiny.
does a kettle fold up?
Well, that's what I need to find it for you, because he got it for a gift at Christmas and was
sounds
showing
amazing.
us, and it's like squashes, like it's so small.
Wow.
So he can take it when he goes on business trips and stuff.
Christmas present.
Oh,
sorted.
Yeah, I hope she's not listening. She's gonna know. But then I got mine. It was on Spotify, and they put a message to say that there is a kettle in every house in England. Like I said.
So far, we're doing great with our poll here.
Yeah.
and
Thank you for everyone that's
Keep it coming.
keep it coming.
Maybe we'll have 2 out of 2.
Yeah, maybe we'll have 4 next week with their opinions. But I think, honestly, I do think you're right.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Careful. I just hadn't ever thought that there would be people in this, you know, like over here in Canada or anywhere really that wouldn't have a kettle. I guess that's because,
Don't know what to tell you.
I might have to, if I ever went somewhere else that didn't have one, I'd have to take my little fold-up one with me. I've got a question to ask you because I'm always very curious about this. You often say when we go out, that the presentation and the way that New Zealand's food industry is very, very different to anywhere else that you have been. And I want to know if you can explain that and why. I mean, you've shown me pictures and it all looks amazing, but is it always like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes I think about the fact of whether I'm like glorifying my memories.
Yeah.
Because I've been home once, been here 6 years. And sometimes I can't actually remember what it's like. Or sometimes I'm romanticizing an experience of like, oh, this was amazing. And it's not like New Zealand. I actually don't know whether it's like New Zealand anymore because it's been so long since I've been back. Or I don't know whether my memory's right or not.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it is. So ever since I've come to Canada, I've really struggled with trying to just enjoy food and to find places that I could go that don't offer a sandwich or a burger or wings or a wrap and just like provides food that's not pub food. And I don't just go to pubs. I go to other places too. But sometimes it is just your piece of steak and your fries, or I don't know. It's like there's a lack of creativity or a lack of something in the presentation. And I don't know how to describe it because other people have asked me too. And I also, again, don't know how to describe it. I just know that it feels different. It tastes different. Also, I miss seafood so much here. It was a staple in what I used to eat. Whether I would go out or whether it would be at home. And it's fresh seafood, or as fresh as it can be when you live in an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Here, when you go to the fish and chip shop, you're kind of risking it, whether it's actually going to be a hit or miss or not, because you don't know where that fish has come from. So yeah, I'm not really great at answering this question.
Well, put some pictures up on Instagram of the foods. But what surprised me when you showed me the pictures was this would just be at my local cafe. I could get this, and I'd be like, what? Like the presentation of somewhere simple that you would go to, or just a basic place you would go to, the presentation of your particular sandwich or your particular it's just out of this world.
It is next level. I will say that there is another level of presentation when it comes to most places that I used to go to in New Zealand.
That you didn't have to pay extra for?
Nope.
Because a level of presentation for me would be you'd have to go to a fancy restaurant, and then a level of presentation is like, oh, wow, like not, like you'd have to pay for that. Whereas you wouldn't. You could just go down the road to your coffee shop or your local, and it's that standard everywhere. That's what amazes me in those pictures that you showed me. This is what we used to serve at the place I used to go. And it's like, oh, yeah, that does look like. You just went to the watering can, didn't you? And you said that their presentation
is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's just when you have an element of, because people don't necessarily eat with I mean, yes, you eat with your stomach, but you essentially eat with your eyes. And if something looks appealing on that first visual, then it is like, oh, wow, this looks amazing. And sometimes it might not actually taste as amazing it actually looks, but that first impression somehow changes our way of what we're going to experience when we eat something.
Yeah.
That's what I reckon anyway. And so, yeah, I think New Zealand definitely is a different level of presentation and how things are served.
For everybody, not just if you've got money or can go to this. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's little things like edible flowers that might be on a plate. You might have a muffin and you might just have like an edible flower, or it might just be the way that the plate is and it's different shaped plate. It's not just your round plate. It's a slightly off-centered kind of, it looks handcrafted though it isn't. It's just those small details that I think a lot of hospitality industry people in New Zealand take a lot of pride in.
Yeah.
And I miss that.
Yeah.
I miss that next level of experience when you're going into a place.
Well, because we also know that working in this industry, that takes extra time and extra effort. So it's quite huge for most of the establishment to take on that kind of, like attention to detail. When you showed me pictures, I was just like, wow, everybody? You're like, well, pretty much. Not everybody, but pretty much. There's always going to be places that don't. And
there's different places that do different things. But yeah, it's delicious. And I wish I could give more words to just the dynamics of...
So you were just looking in your cupboards for a snack. Now you're thinking about that. I bought snack, but I bought fruit. So it's not... It was delicious. But
it was.
Hankering for a bit of chocolate.
I did feel a little bit like old Mother Hubbard who went to a cupboard. And
it was all
cupboard was bare.
I have an experience when I went back to England in January. The kids had bought me a gift card for a place called the Ivy, which are dotted all around England. And my mum and my sister came with us. It was like a treat for us. So we put the gift card towards what we had. And it was so good. Like the environment was lovely. The service was great. The food was very simple, but very delicious.
Was it a high tea? I imagine that the Ivy kind of presents a high tea.
We did get the gift card for a high tea, but we didn't. We had food, we had dinner. We just said, can we use this for this and then play the difference? And he's like, yeah. Oh, cool. So I had, can I even remember what I had? I had a crab cake thing for my main, but it was just so beautifully done. I have pictures. I'll try and remember to put them up. And my mum and my sister had the shepherd's pie, but it was like a next level. But the dessert was the sticky toffee pudding.
I was going to say, I can't remember what you had, but I remember.
And clotted cream on the top. Oh, good. Give me 2 bowls of that. It was so good. And obviously the company was great. My mum and my sister. And the bathrooms were like...
Isn't that the best?
I love a nice bathroom.
When you go into a really nice place or a place that's just like, oh, this is a little bit different. And then you've always got to check out the bathrooms. Because they are, there's always something different about them.
This was like a plush seat in the middle. I've got pictures of me in the bathroom because I'm like, I don't think I've ever been in a bathroom like this. It was so nice. I think it's the thing to do is to take your picture in this bathroom because it's so, it's known. But I would definitely go back. It was just such a nice, relaxed. We had a horrible journey home, mind you. We had a bit of snow on the way home and the UK's not ready for snow. And my poor sister with a Mini, I was getting out and pushing. It was a chaos on the way home. But the dinner itself and being at the Ivy is just the attention to detail and the simplicity, but it tastes delicious. It was something that I'm not going to forget. It's a memory that's always going to be there.
The thing that stands out to you.
Yeah, it was a nice day. Really good.
Isn't it interesting how it's the food that stands out to you that you remember or the experience that goes with that food and you're like, oh, remember that whatever.
Yeah, and it can be for any reason, like our big fat sandwich.
Like the big fat sandwich.
We'd been out on an adventure to Moulin Rouge and on our way back we were starving. So we Googled to see if this sandwich shop was open. It's called Stoney's. And we checked to see if it was still open, and it was. So we veered off the motorway highway pretty quick. And we got in there and we just looked and picked our food. And I had chicken pesto, cheesy, melted thing. And you had...
a lamb of some pull-apart, juicy goodness. Sorry, I apologise. Juicy goodness.
And then we... So then we sat down and they delivered it, and I just remember our faces looking at this like, oh my God.
Because we were ravenous.
It looked so good though. It didn't have all the flowers or anything on it, but it just looked amazing.
It still looked amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be the flowery
No.
presentation. It's the presentation.
Yeah.
Also, we were very hungry.
But the flavours were good.
Phenomenal.
And we just
scoffed
on
that
into
puppy
this
down.
sandwich. We didn't speak to each other. Napkins were neat, like it was messy. It was the best way to end that day, and I won't ever forget the big fat sandwich.
So now we call that experience the big fat sandwich experience, because
it was
much like we've already talked about. There are times in our lives where we think to ourselves, what is one of the best meals that you've had, or what is a thing that you can remember that you've eaten that was so good?
Mm-hmm.
And I have a couple of those stories, but the big fat sandwich is one that I'm always going to remember.
Yeah.
Because that sandwich was phenomenal.
And came just right, hit the spot.
Yeah.
Just finished off that day perfectly.
Oh,
I can taste it now. I know all I've got is a cup of tea and a bit of pineapple.
On that note, let's have a sip of tea and we'll be back.
Let's have a sip of tea. And we're back. How was your tea?
I don't remember taking a sip.
Oh.
I think I did.
I took it. Okay. Well, it can't be that memorable. It's probably because I take it. My mum says I make a shit cup of tea. I like my tea. But I've got better at tea making. But when I was back in the day, she'd be like, your tea's horrible.
I was going to say, how can you scrub a cup of tea? But, I mean, there's many ways that you can scrub a cup of tea.
Yeah, because I used to, and my mum used to do this. It would be milk first, which is wrong.
I was
so many
thinking
levels.
to myself, what's the sacrilege that you're going to say
right now? Or put the milk in too quick. And also, I couldn't be bothered to wait for the kettle to... This is when I was younger, the kettle to boil all the way, and it has to boil all the way.
Yeah.
And it's not like it takes a long time in England. It is so, so quick. Here, you could go and clean your whole house and come back and you'd be like, oh, it's just clicked off. Now I can have my cup of tea. Anyway, do you want to hear some funny stories from my week?
Yes, I do. Fire away.
First of all, I said something stupid, and then I'm like, oh, but this is quite normal, so you're probably going to get lots of these stories. I handed out a drink. Did I hand out a drink I can't even remember what it was. Oh, this lady had an iced drink and a muffin, and I said to her, I have an iced caramel muffin for you. And then I'm like, oh, damn it, man, you can't take those things back. Once you've said them, you've just got to be like, have a nice day, and just be like, I hope they haven't
Or have a good idea.
And yeah, exactly. And then this lady came in and she looks at our board and she's like, oh, a lavender latte. I could have a lavender latte. That sounds lovely. I will have a lavender latte. So I'm like, okay. And I start to press the buttons for a lavender latte. And she says, but not today. I'm like, okay. What can I get you today? But she was so excited about her drink, and this is the best thing that she'd ever found. And then she said she would have one, and I'm like, okay. And then she went, but not today. I'm like, oh my God. Why do people do that? I think she was I don't know why she did it. She had nothing remotely like that drink either.
What, she probably just had like
an Americano or
Americano
something completely different from what she went crazy over when she first walked in. She just stumped me because I'm like, okay, I know what you're having, and blah, 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 blah. And then she's like, not.
But not today. Oh, my goodness. People are so funny.
They are crazy, aren't they? The other one, this happened a long time ago. This is a really super busy day. And I'm walking back through the restaurant into like the dish area. And somebody's asked me for a take-up bag. Table 4 needs 2 glasses of water. So on the way back, I'm like, take up a glass of water, blah, 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 so that I don't forget, so that I can get everybody what they need. And then this lady said, excuse me, madam, excuse me. And I turn, I'm like, yes, thinking, glass of water, da, 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 da.
All the things in your mind that you've got to keep hold
and I'm
of.
carrying plates. Yeah, what can I do for you? Could you get me a Kaniffy? I'm like, what? Like, pardon? I'm sorry. She goes, a Kaniffy, 2 waters, like a take-up for this person, and Kaniffy? I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what you're trying to say. She goes, oh, I just mean a knife. Oh. I'm like, oh, but yes, I'll get you a knife.
Don't try and be funny when you see that your server has many full hands, many hands that are full.
Yeah, many hands that are full. I was just like, oh my God. And she was laughing with her friends. I'm like, this is not funny. Now I've forgotten where my waters are supposed to be going.
And who wants that takeout container?
Yeah, and who that I'm what now? Takeout container? Whose was this? Because I've just been thrown off by a Kaniffy. Anyway, that's what happened this week. Well, Kaniffy was a while ago, but the rest of it, that was this week. Some people just say some
funny things.
Yeah. Well, it's constant. It is every day, but you forget some of them, or you're just like, oh. And this week also, that Caesar salad lady.
What do you mean?
I took over her stuff, her sandwich.
Oh, yes, you did tell me about this one.
And she said to me, she got her bill out and she goes, why have I been charged extra for my salad? And I said, well, this is an upgrade. Your Caesar salad is an upgrade. The field green is what comes with it. It says it on the board. I said, but if you know, like if you're not happy with that, I can. She was like, no, I understand that. But why have I been charged? Because this is a Caesar salad.
And it's an upgrade.
And it's an upgrade.
Which you pay for.
But yeah, I've got the Caesar salad, she said. But on my bill it says, and I'm like, I wanted to just say, what part of this are you not understanding, madam? You got the damn upgrade on your salad. It's like, I'm busy. I keep saying the same thing over and over. I don't know how to explain this any differently to you.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like me to give you the difference back if you were not expecting that? No. It's just that I've got this salad. I'm like, okay, everything okay? And she'd put her bill away and I'm like, okay, I'm moving on with my day. But I'm like, oh my God, woman, what's wrong with you?
Do you know what I really enjoy when you get riled up by people? Is when you call them madam. Because
they're in trouble.
It's the most British way of saying, I'm really sick of you right now. Can you just spit out what you want to say?
I hadn't even ever thought of that. Oh, but you are so right. If a madam comes out, you are in trouble.
Yeah. But no one else can pull it off. But it's because you're British and it's the way that it comes out. Oh. It's not a facetious way and an overt. Any other customer wouldn't see it that way, but you just, the way that you say it, because I know you, I hear them, what would you like, madam?
Just what like, is it that you'd like me to... pissed. Oh, I'm going to be so conscious of that now. I hadn't even thought about that.
Oh, please don't, because I really enjoy hearing it.
You're very right. So if you are madamed, you're in trouble. If I could have madamed that guy this morning, I would have, that came in and said, I was here at 6:30 the other day. I was like, okay. And he's like, and you won't open. I said, that's because we don't open till 7. He goes, well, that's crazy. I wanted to come by and get a coffee. And he goes, where am I supposed to go if you're not open? And he's like, no, I would have said, well, madam, there's a Tim Hortons down the road and maybe the Starbucks that opens a little earlier than us. And we open at 7. Like, what do you want me to do?
That's when you go to all the chain places that are open 24/7 or open at the crack of dawn.
Yeah, because
he
was probably just up super early because for, like maybe one reason, and he wanted his coffee and we weren't open. We're not just going to open earlier for the 2 randos that are going to come in at that time.
Yeah.
So
some people go to sleep.
We don't want to get up any earlier than we do anyway. Yeah. Thanks very much. Anyway, I have an announcement to make.
Okay, go for it. What's your announcement?
Because the sun came out and it was warmer, our Lycra friends came out.
Oh,
and
Lycra friends.
But this is like their first outing after winter. And I just would like to say that I'm really glad that you had a good winter and a good Christmas.
All the cyclists out there.
And ate all the cyclists. Yeah. And ate all of the good stuff. But need to suggest something at the start of the season. Is that you pick your black Lycra outfits at the beginning, because nobody needs to see who ate all the pies over winter. And the highlighter orange and the highlighter yellow and green Lycra outfits are not. I don't need to see that. So, I've seen a little too many of them on the fake spring.
Fake spring. Do you want to describe Kermit the Frog that came in the other day? Oh,
so we have a couple of high stools at the side of our cafe that people can sit and eat on, or they often sit and wait for like takeout orders or drinks. So highlighter green Lycra man was sitting at the end with his legs perched up on the little rung. So he had his legs open like a frog. Oh. So imagine what we can see in between those legs in his
green shoes. He was green.
He was green.
From tips of his toes to here on his head.
To the top.
Yeah. Did he have a green hat on?
Honestly, don't think I got that far because I couldn't look anymore once I'd seen it.
Just went halfway up and it was like, no, not today. Not
I know you need to be aerodynamic, but there was absolutely nothing aerodynamic about how you looked in that suit, sir. So put your black on.
Yeah.
And move forward. And then once you got a little bit fitter, knocked off some of those mince pies or whatever you had at Christmas and your ports, then go ahead and put your highlighter stuff on if you must. Right, that's end of that conversation.
That's
for me.
The public announcement service of
God, yeah, it is.
Service of Helen right there.
So, as you probably already can tell, I see all the humour things that happen around us, but Jo sees all the moments that make our work special and records those moments and those poignant bits and pieces that happen with customers, and you actually make notes of them sometimes, don't you? Mm-hmm. All those things.
Yeah, I do.
So do you have one? Would you like to share one of those moments that will probably just whiz over the top of my head if I was there, but you've recognised it and bring it to my attention?
Yeah. Should I share the Ethiopia one? Or should I share like something that's not completely related to me?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter? Okay. So we used to open later at night and I was working a night shift. So these two girls come in the evening and they keep on going back and forward from the bathroom. And I think I remember right that they are trying on different dresses. So immediately I'm like, okay, one of these is the bride, one of them is a bridesmaid, and the bridesmaid is trying on different dresses for the bride to figure out which one she likes the most. It was actually quite a neat thing to kind of see. It wasn't like a big, massive fanfare or anything like that. It was very indescriptive kind of dresses. They were very nice, but something that I would have thought, you've just gone out for the evening, you come in for a cup of coffee kind of thing, wearing into a cafe. So they eventually came up to the counter to order something, and one of the girls had a necklace on, and it was a necklace of Africa, the continent Africa. Mm-hmm. Honestly, sometimes they say stuff, and I'm like, why'd you just clarify that? Just carry on talking.
You're turning into Radio 2, that's why.
So I asked her, because I thought to myself, I have really close family friends that are like my family, and they're from Zimbabwe. And so I think to myself, if I had something relating to Africa, I felt like I could because I've got a connection of some sort. So I'm like, you don't really wear something of an African nature unless you've got a connection. And so I said, oh, that's a really unique necklace. Like, are you from Africa? Are you wearing it for a specific reason? And she says, oh, no, I used to live there a little bit when I was a kid. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like, why did you live in Africa? And she said, oh, my parents were missionaries in Ethiopia. I was like, oh, that's really neat. She says, well, whereabouts are you from? And I says, oh, I'm from New Zealand. She's like, oh, I've never been to New Zealand, but I have met one family from New Zealand before. And I was like, oh, that's really random. She's like, yeah, they were also missionaries in Ethiopia. I was like, oh, what was their names? And she was like, nah, that's crazy. I was like, well, let's just give it a try. Let's see how small this world is. And sure enough, she told me this family's name, and she told me the name of this girl that she was really great friends with when they were really little in Ethiopia. And this girl was a friend of mine from New Zealand.
Oh my
that I knew.
God.
And this person that I was serving had never been to New Zealand. She'd only known ever one New Zealander, and it was this person that I also knew, but she'd never met her outside of being in Ethiopia. And I was just like, what a random series of events that kind of brought these two strangers. So I naturally came home after my shift, and I messaged my friend in New Zealand. I was like, you'll never guess who I just met. She's like, oh my goodness. And so I actually reconnected them at a point in time. I don't know if they're still staying in touch, but it was just like one of those really random moments.
That is so
random.
Random, yeah.
But also
so
just
weird.
a recognition of like how small this world is.
It's true.
Where asking a simple question can take you in a conversation.
Yeah.
And I think why I recognize some of the more meaningful parts of our job is because when I have the time and I'm talking to people, I do ask them, oh, what are you doing? Or, oh, anyway, I ask them kind of leading questions that then go on to a conversation with me hearing about their life. And I walk away thinking, wow, humans are amazing. Or that person's story is incredible. And I would never have known it if I hadn't have asked.
If you hadn't have asked that
one question. So I'll share more of these stories.
Yeah, that's a great story.
As we go along. Because I've got, like you said, I do record them because I like to remember them because it does kind of just shape that moment. And I walk away and I think, I don't know. It's just.
I don't think I've ever heard that story before.
No?
No.
Oh.
So that's quite nice.
That is quite cool.
Yeah, that I haven't heard it. But it did make me think about something, though, when people come in that are like from England, or I don't know if this happens to you when you meet someone from New Zealand, but they'll ask you, do you know, like, where do you come from and do you know this person? I mean, and you might, as it happened to you might actually know them, but I'm like, why don't just lean out the window and be like, do you know how far away that place is that your Auntie Jean lives in? Like, no, I don't know Auntie Jean.
I've got to say, I don't actually get those questions.
Oh, I don't know.
I usually get so New Zealand, yeah. That's like part of Australia, right?
Oh, yeah.
And my insides kind of die a little bit. And I'm like, no, it's not. But you can drive to Australia. I'm like, no, you can't. For an educational moment here on our podcast, New Zealand is not part of Australia. You cannot drive there. There is actually an ocean, like a body of water that separates the two countries. It's a 3 to 4 hour flight from one country to the next country, like the closest coast to coast.
Just to be clear.
Just to be
clear. Meet Joe.
We're not the same. You cannot drive.
That lady today said to me, are you from Scotland? I said, no, I'm from England. She goes, oh, that's nice. She went and sat down.
I wonder what you said. Like, what would have happened if you were like, yes, I am from Scotland? Would she have said the same thing?
She probably would have gone, oh, that's nice, and went and sat down again.
It is funny how there are a lot of times when we are talking to our customers or just people that we're serving.
You've just done it again.
I know.
Radio 2.
Oh, my goodness. Sometimes I wish I could just get an eraser out and actually.
Well, you're the editor. You could edit it out.
Do you? This is a sidestep. What do you call an eraser in England?
A rubber.
You call it a rubber. I call it a rubber too, but you can't call it a rubber here because it means
a rubber
something
is something else. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's an eraser here.
I had to go
clarify that. Okay, moving on. What did you say? What were you going to say? When you're serving?
Oh, when you're serving people and they ask us where we're from, or they have those conversations of, oh, are you from Scotland? No? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay then. Or are you from Australia? Then it kind of creates that, again, space for conversation, space to ask questions. And we've talked about this before, about us feeling like celebrities a little bit.
A little bit, because there isn't a day that goes by where somebody doesn't ask you where you're from. Not a day, I don't think. Which part of England are you from, or where are you from? Or, they'll ask you. The only one time someone asked me what part of New Zealand I was from, and I was like, oh, that's the first. Oh. But I get Australia, South African.
You get Australia and South Africa as well?
Yeah, ask me. And I also get that in England. So from the south of England to the north of England, when I went up north, people asked me which part of Australia I was from. I'm just down the road, just 5 hours down the road. But yeah, so it must, to people's ears, right?
Yeah.
It is. But we always get asked, and it is nice. I've had conversations similar to what you've said with somebody, and it's the more you narrow down where you live. So I live not far from Brighton. Well, where? Blah, 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 blah. And you get closer and closer and you're like, oh, I used to go to school there. So there's been a few of those occasions. And then somebody that used to work at the same place as my dad near Heathrow, in the same kind of time, but they didn't know my dad. I tried to make the connection. But so you can get those cool moments.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, we do feel a bit like when we go home to our countries where we were born, you're just like, oh, okay, that's just me.
Because why we're saying this is because of our accents.
Yeah.
So there's an instantaneous of we sound different from the other people that we're surrounded by. And we've talked about this as well, that we don't necessarily hear the Canadian accent anymore.
Not at all.
And I hear it a lot when I talk to people from home, and I'm like, oh, wow, is that what I sound like?
Yeah.
Or is that what New Zealanders sound like? Do I still sound like that?
Yeah.
Or have I softened a little bit? I definitely think I've softened a little bit. But we definitely sound different. And so it creates space, like I just said, conversation. And then all of a sudden you go back home and then you're like, oh, everybody sounds like me and I sound like everybody else. And they don't give a shit whether I've lived in Canada for the last however many years.
We never get asked.
Yeah, you're just old Joe Blog from down the road.
You feel like when you go into a coffee shop or restaurant, you're like, you're not going to ask me where I'm from.
Yeah.
Or I get off the plane, I'm like, do I actually sound like that? Is that what I sound like? Like I question myself.
Mm-hmm.
But after listening back to these podcasts, I have noticed that I've got a bit of that Canadian sing.
Oh.
In the last podcast, when I was asking you some questions, I would go, "Oop." I got a bit of a freaking sing.
So
not much, but it's there a bit.
Helen and I have talked about how Canadian accents have a very sing-songy twang to it.
Yeah, they're very singy.
Yeah, I would describe a New Zealander as a very short. We don't elongate our vowels very well. And so everything is short and quick, and we cut things off really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I think the British
it's similar,
accent is very similar in some aspects.
Yeah.
But the Canadians just like to
they
sail
do.
along.
They're like, morning.
I'll have a latte.
Yeah, not everybody, let me tell you. We don't work with a whole bunch of sing-songers.
We are exaggerating.
Yeah.
But
we're not exaggerating that one because there is a person that does that. A very long Yep. But yeah, it's very...
There's a very
happy,
melodious sound to the Canadian accent that we definitely
what
notice.
Does that mean? Just...
melodious.
Yeah, never heard of that.
A melody.
Oh, thank you. Yes, that makes sense. Sorry. You can tell I looked out the window and counted the cars in the petrol station rather than listened. That's cool. I think that was written on my report card once. Helen knows how many red cars went in the petrol station and how many blue ones. My dad tells that story. So that'll just tell you where I'm at. If Helen would pay attention every year, the same thing, you might as well just give the report card back and be like, let's just write year 4 or whatever and give it back. It'll be the same thing every year. Anyway, moving on. You teach me. I can't even remember the word now.
Melodious. It's right. You look at me with blank eye sometimes, and I just kind of fill in the blanks.
What is she talking about? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, they sing song.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all, really.
That's all we've got.
But if I'm turning into a sing-songer, you wouldn't notice. You wouldn't notice. When we moved here, I heard Scott's accent change from how I knew him in England, and he still sounded Canadian in England. But when he came back, I'm like, oh, this is different. And obviously now it's the same. And I heard the kids change. When we got in the car, I picked them up, and one of them said, I've got a new friend. What's their name? Robert. I'm like, what? Robert. Like, they just started.
Chip chop to the point.
Yeah.
Robert.
So I heard their accents change, which is weird.
That must have been really
weird.
It
was weird. And then we'd go home for a bit, and then Scott would pick us up from the airport, and they would have changed back a bit. Like, it's weird when you're younger.
How it kind of flip-flops.
Oh, yeah, easily. So easily. But
and then there's that magical age where all of a sudden, whatever country you're in, that's the accent you've got. Doesn't
don't
change.
You feel like if you've tried to speak a little bit more Canadian, as it were, it sound like you're taking the piss? Like, I can't. Milo said to me the other day, say something Canadian. I said, what do you want me to say? And I can't. Like, I don't know how to say it in a Canadian accent.
I think I can pull one off.
Oh, I can't. Because if I have to say ball, as in a football.
Right.
They would go ball.
Yeah.
See, I exaggerate it.
You do exaggerate
quite a lot,
everything.
Amy always says, but that's not how we say it. I'm like, well, that's how it sounds. Could you do it? What are you going to say? Ball?
A football? Actually, a football.
Well, let's do a poll. Does that sound good?
There are definitely times when I'm talking to my friends in New Zealand and I'm driving in the car and I'll go through a drive-through and I'm just like, hold on a sec, I'm just going to place my order. And then I come back and they're just laughing at me because they say, yep, definitely your accent just changed there for a second. I remember when my mum first came over, we'd gone out for a coffee and I ordered a coffee for the both of us and she just looked at me and she's like, who is that? Because it was the way, and also when people don't know me, I definitely slow what I'm saying down and I elongate my words and I speak a little bit more clearer and I announce my R's a little bit more than what I might not usually do.
Right.
And then it takes a while for somebody to actually click on the fact that I don't sound Canadian.
Can you tell me the story about your mum? You can just quickly tell it about when she went and ordered a coffee and never got the right coffee all the time.
This is a great story.
Yeah, just remembered it.
My mum's been over a couple of times. My mum has a very strong Kiwi accent. So it was for my niece's wedding. My mum, her husband, and my auntie had come over. And so for a very quick trip, I took them up to Ottawa for a couple of days. And we were going out and exploring places. And she came back to the hotel that we were staying at and she says, Jo, can you help me out with something? I was like, sure. She says, every single time I go and order a coffee, I get 2 coffees back. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, look, here, like you can have this one. This is the one that I want. And I said, well, what are you saying? She's like, well, I'm ordering a coffee. I was like, no, you have to tell me exactly the words that you're using. Tell me what you're saying. So she says, I go up to the counter and I say, I would like a coffee. I'll have a latte, please. And I said, yeah, you're ordering 2 coffees.
Margaret.
She's like, what?
Sorry, Joe's mum.
I said, yeah, like in Canada, a cup of coffee is a drink. It's a drip coffee. That's what you're going to get because we don't have drip coffee in New Zealand.
No, you have said
it's
that.
not a thing. Sorry to blow everybody's North American minds.
It would be an Americano, right?
It'll be an Americano. Yeah. Or you might get, here it's called a French press.
Right.
You could order one of those in New Zealand, but it'll be an Americano if you just want a black coffee or a long black or a short black or whatever. But yeah, a cup of coffee, I had to explain to her, you are ordering a hot drink by saying a cup of coffee and you're ordering a separate drink by ordering a latte. 2 drinks, that's why. Didn't you ever realise that your latte was quite pricey? And she's like, I did wonder that. And then I got confused when I got the 2 coffees back.
So she made an announcement, hello, I'd like a coffee. And
I'll
this
have a
is the
latte,
coffee
please.
that I would like, a latte.
Yes, because in New Zealand, you'll probably say, hey, I'll have a cup of coffee, thanks. Sure, what kind of coffee would you...
Right.
That bugged me so much when people would come up. I'm like, great, what kind of coffee do you want? Because you won't just go up to a counter in New Zealand and say, I'll have a cup of coffee and then get given a drip coffee.
No, you have to then tell them. So they should know, living in New Zealand, that they have to say, I'll have a latte, please.
Yeah.
Instead of telling you first that they want a coffee and then having to... Oh, that would be annoying.
But my mum has she's figured out what her Canadian drink is. So we kind of restructured in New Zealand, she has a specific drink and how she wants it and how she orders it. Every single time she'll go in, I'll have a this, and this, and this. In Canada, I said, okay, so this is what that translates to. That's what that translates to. So just say, I'll have this, thanks.
Right.
And then you'll get exactly what you want. And it'll be relatively similar to what you get in New Zealand.
That would frustrate me, though, if that happened. Because even when people come in to us and say, I'll have a muffin, please. I'm like, fantastic. I'm happy for you. Would you like to tell me which one you want?
Yeah.
Or shall I just pick it for you?
Yeah. But if somebody here says, I'll have a cup of coffee, great. You just grab them a cup.
Medium or dark roast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's different when you move countries, how you don't realise how much of a language shift you have to do with everyday things, like a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was in England, I'd need to ask Amy, who's there at the moment, but I've got a funny feeling that some of the coffee shops there will just do an Americano for a coffee now, because I asked for a decaf coffee. Well, I can do an Americano. So that might also be going that way.
What do you mean?
Like not having drip coffee.
Do they have drip coffee in the UK?
Yeah. Let me think about when I was at... Oh, my God. It's so hard for me to remember. Right, I'm going to have to find out. I can't remember. I'm trying to think when I worked for Starbucks and whether... Yeah, there was just coffees. There was just coffees.
When you say just coffees, do you mean drip coffee?
I just mean drip coffee, definitely. Yeah. But recently when I went back, we went into a particular place and I asked for that and they said, well, I can only do Americano.
Oh, so they're moving away from
So
the drip
that's what
coffee
I'm thinking
culture.
might be happening in some of the coffee stores.
Interesting.
Anyway, blah, blah, blah.
It's really interesting, different places. I always enjoy the expression of people's faces when I tell them that New Zealand doesn't have drip coffee. Like, what do you mean? Like, you don't go to a cafe and order a cup of coffee and you'll get a cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
They'll probably just give you an Americano if you don't.
Yeah, if you don't specify,
different.
that's what you'll get.
Yeah. We definitely learned, like I learned very quickly when I was serving people in New Zealand, when they sounded Canadian or American.
You'd give them an Americano.
I would just give them an Americano.
Yeah.
And I'd say, would you like cream on the side? Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, in New Zealand, it's runny cream. Do you want some runny cream on the side? Because there's
so single cream.
No, there's not different. Oh, this is a whole nother subject about creams. There's just runny cream and then there's whipped cream. That's it.
2 creams.
2 kind of creams. Here, there's 5% cream, there's 10% cream, half and half, which is 10% cream.
So at home,
there's 18%
there's
cream.
Single cream, double cream, whipping cream in the UK, as far as I can remember, and then clotted cream.
Right, which is different.
Yeah, which is different in itself.
Yeah. No,
yeah, there's
New Zealand,
percentages
wine
here.
cream.
And there's half and half here.
Yeah. Which is what? Half cream, half milk?
I reckon that's like a whole... Oh, no, it's not like whole milk, is it? Anyway, this is boring for you. I do apologise. Shall we move on to... What am I moving on to? Who does that?
I was like, yes, let's move on to... what is it called?
That?
Who does that?
My who does that is something that I've done. Like, it's just something like, who does that, but I did it.
Okay.
So I've had some, shoulder muscle issues, and I've got my deep heat out, or whatever it's called, wherever you are. So it's that smelly stuff that's going to burn your skin.
I call it deep heat too.
Deep heat, yeah. I don't know what I think it might be the same here. I think it's the same here. Anyway.
No, it's not the same here, because I had this conversation exactly with somebody the other day. They were like, we don't know what deep heat is.
Like Ralgex. It's called
Tiger Balm, muscle.
Yeah. Anyway, that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm rubbing it on my shoulders like, oh, this is going to be so nice. This is great. And then I rinse my hands. And then... No, it's not a toilet story.
No.
Okay.
I'm just like, irrelevant to where you're going. You didn't wash your hands properly after using a deep heating.
So then it's time to put my nighttime moisturiser on. So I get my nighttime moisturiser and I put it on over my face and I was feeling a bit warm. Yep. Deep heated and moisturised.
Who does that?
Who does that? Wash your hands. My face was burning. I knew it would go away, but I didn't wash it off. But the burn is nice when it's like on a muscle, like your shoulders or your leg, but on your face, it's like, oh, this needs to go away.
Did it take you a little bit to realise what you'd done?
Yeah, because, I couldn't, it was on.
Yeah.
When I realised, I'm like, oh, that's a bit tingly. And then I'm like, oh, flipping heck, Helen. I know what you've done. Luckily, I didn't put any eye cream on. Imagine that.
Oh.
This was just a face and neck.
That would have been
so.
awful.
Yep. Who does that?
Who does
I
that?
do that. So that's mine for the week.
That's yours.
And yours? Do you have one?
Yes, I do have one. Mine is when you're sitting in a restaurant or a cafe and you hear Mr. whatever his name is behind you or across the way or even next to you. And in the morning when guys wake up and they've sometimes got the snot and the coughs and all of the noises that come with that, this person was doing it in the cafe. And I call it hoiking and toiking, which I feel like isn't going to translate very well. But it's just the nostrils and I want to do the sound, but I don't want to put anybody off.
No, somebody might be eating their dinner or having a nice snack.
Let's not do that. So just let your imagination run wild. Hopefully you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I just sat there. Thankfully, I wasn't eating anything. But I just thought, come on, dude, like go to the bathroom and just sort yourself out.
Yeah.
Or just like keep it all in and do that in your own private business of your car before you hop into the cafe. Like it's a public setting and a public place where other people have paid to be part of this experience. The experience that they paid for is not you whacking your snot all over the place trying to get your uncomfortableness out of your nose.
Who does that? Oh, that's disgusting.
It was disgusting. It
I
went
mean,
on for about 5
sometimes it has
minutes.
to happen, right? Sometimes you need to sort out, clear your throats. Do you know what? As I've got older, me and my sister have discussed this, and I've tried so desperately not to do that on the podcast, but it's difficult. But there's this all the time, clearing your throat all the time. Not when I first wake up, but as soon as I've had a drink or eaten something. It's something to do with the sinuses. It's hormone. It can be hormone related. Like it's something that happens as you get older. And I remember in the car with the kids, and TJ in particular, it drives him mad. I know, and I really try and hold on to it. If we have a drink or we've gone for a bucks or something, then I'm like, oh no, I've got to go. My sister does it too. It's like, what is this? Yeah, so it's an old age thing, I think, but still, sort it out at home if you can.
Yeah, I mean, like the 1 and the 2 is fine, but this was not a 1 and a 2. It went on for about 5 minutes, and I felt like turning around and saying, "Are you done now? Have you sorted yourself out? Great. I'd like to carry on enjoying my drink. Thanks."
Yes, thanks very much.
Anyway,
yeah, moving on. Hope joke was fine after that. Anyway, and now we're going to move on to
Miley's question of the week, which is pre-recorded, and we will smooth it over now. What's Miley's question of the week? Fire away. Well,
okay.
One of his many questions that he always asks.
The ones that we picked. The one that piqued a lot of interest on the day of him asking.
Was that just for? Is this the dinosaur one?
It's the dinosaur one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this just the one that piqued our interest for the day, or was this everybody's curiosity?
I think everyone's curiosity for about a minute or two, and then we came back the next day with another. Right. If you could get $1 million a day, would you stay in Jurassic Park Island like the first movie? After every day, you could pick whether you'd stay there again for another day. But you could leave after the first day. Would you do a day? First of all, I'm like, oh, no, I think I'd get eaten.
I said yes.
I know. And then I came around a bit because you said, what if we were in with the herbivores?
Yes.
Who eat plants?
Yes.
I was like, maybe I could do that.
And then he asked you, what if you could go with, did he ask you after that?
Who would you take?
Who would you take?
I picked you.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in moments of our lives, if you're panicking, I'm not panicking. And then if I panic, we're the opposite.
Yeah, we are.
So you can be like, you can't be calm. This is what we're going to do. Or if you're stressing, then I would say, like, don't get your knickers in a twist. This is what we're going to do. So I picked you. So the conversation was had, and then we came back the next day. And I can't remember how we started the conversation again.
Well, I think maybe it was the day that we were both opening together.
Okay.
And we both kind of walked in because I had been thinking about it that night before, and then in the morning I had been thinking about it as I drove to work.
Lost sleep over something that's never going to happen.
And then you came in and I said to you, maybe I said or you said that, that question from Milo, yes, I've been thinking about it too. So it had both been on our minds, and then so then we just kind of started chatting about it. So how would we survive? Well, I was like, well, no, you said, I can't run very fast if someone's chasing me. And so I said,
I can't run very fast. I'd probably wet myself too. I'm sure you can't wait 10 ladies in Jurassic Park World.
Well, and then I said, well, maybe we could just find a place up a tree and then we were talking about the T-Rexes because they don't have front arms. No. And here I am doing the arm action.
I don't need to do the arm action. I've already got T-Rex arms.
But then I wasn't sure whether dinosaurs climbed trees, because a lot of those ferocious ones, I'm just going like a T-Rex. They can't pull themselves up.
Yeah.
So I was like, we'll be fine. in the big trees.
We won't be fine if a herbivore, I can't even say the word.
The tall, long... See,
if he decides to have a snack and doesn't look what he's doing, we're just going to get eaten off the tree.
But it's not just going to, like, chomp on us. They'd be chomping on the leaves and we'd be kind of, like, in the shrubbery of the sea. We're still talking about it, how we would survive. And then I said to you afterwards, I was like, I think maybe I need to watch Jurassic Park again to see how we could survive properly.
Oh, no, it's scary. I didn't like those little velociraptor things.
In the movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, this is why I need to watch it again. I can't remember half of the movie.
I don't like that scene, and I can't remember it properly, but they're in some kind of kitchen area trying to hide in the first Jurassic Park, and those bloody velociraptors just run around.
Oh, yes. I'm trying to remember. I actually said, oh, yes, and then I was like, I think I'm getting the first two, the first one and of the original and then the first one of the next one mixed up.
I think I've only seen one. I think I gave up.
Okay.
I think. Anyway, yeah, so that was our dinosaur question.
That was
Maybe we should watch Jurassic Park and work out our plan, but it's so funny how we go away and think about his questions sometimes.
This is the thing about Milo's questions, is that he asks us a question like, would you be in the dinosaur island for a day for $1 million? And we both say yes, and we both start planning how we would survive. How we're gonna do it, yeah. It's not even real.
Like, we're never going to be able to get that kind of time off work.
Not the both of us, not at the same time.
That's not happening.
Alrighty, and that's us for the week.
That's us for week 3.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening and joining us on this podcasting journey as we figure out what we're doing and as we chit-chat about our experience in hospitality and living in different countries. So at the end of podcasts, people always say those things of rate us and follow us. And every time I got to that part, I always thought to myself, I don't really want to, because I'm just listening to you and I'm just going to carry on listening to someone else or listen to the next episode. But I've now started to understand the value and importance of rating us, because it allows other people to be able to find us. It allows us to gain some more followers, and it just allows us to get a little bit more known and hopefully spread our sunshine all around the world. How about that for a little bit of waffle?
That's lovely. Spread our sunshine all across the world. I like that.
Oh, thanks.
That could be a new logo.
Yeah. Well, as I was telling, I'm like, that could be taken the wrong way, but let's just take it the best way possible. Anyway, thanks for listening. If you want to get in touch with us, our email address is pod.andanotherthing@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram. We're really easy to find. And thank you very much. Have a great week.
Yeah, have a good idea.
Have a good idea.